Welcome everybody to C Team Sports Live tonight. Had a long day at work and trying to get homework done at school, and I said, let me pop on and do a C Team Sports. Some of the topics that I saw floating around, looking around on free time and stuff like that. And let's go over a couple of topics today. We're gonna get right into it because I ain't gonna be up here all night. So today's topic will be, and also while I'm doing it, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And check out our podcast, The Thinking Game we do. We just did one yesterday. It was pretty fun. Check out some of the clips I posted or watch the whole podcast either on Facebook or YouTube. Clips on TikTok, Instagram, um, Facebook, and all that. So be sure to check it out. Thanks to everybody who's supporting. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate that. So, as we get into it, like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into the sports. First topic is the Cowboys and Dak agree to hold off on contract extension per the reports. Now, this is tricky because you don't know if this was agreed upon. Was it kind of semi-forced? Or is Dak holding out for more money? Either way it go, it's going to be a risk. So the question is,
you want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
what's the risk of waiting or delaying to extend the contract? Tell me, what's the risk?
Blade, ready to die.
Because a lot of times it could go either way.
It's always business, never personal.
And you don't want to hear that. The risk. Here's the risk for the Cowboys. They cannot franchise tag Dak at the end of this season. He'll be a completely free agent. He can walk without question. And there are a lot of teams who want a starting quarterback and will pay Brink's truck full of money to do it. The second part of the way out is Dak. If he plays solid, his value increases. He gets injured or have a bad season, it kind of balances out a stage, kind of a little bit more than what he's making based on the market. So he's going to get paid either way. The question is the Cowboys, do they want to pay him more later or try to get him back under contract now? We're going to find out the answer. And also, this podcast is sponsored by, no, it's not. I'm just drinking it because I need a little sugar rush. Crush grape soda. When you're feeling down, crush that negative energy with Crush grape soda. And now I bought that myself. They didn't sponsor. I wish they sponsor this, but they didn't. If anybody want to sponsor the podcast, hey, let me know. I'll plug you, man. I just made that up off the top of my head, so think about that. But in the real world, this happens too, right?
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is what happens. You've been working at the job for about 3 or 4 years, and you are thinking about, how can I increase my salary? How can I elevate or level up? How can I do that? And you will come to this point that you're either maxed out at the position, or this happens a lot. Maybe in the South, maybe it's a Southern thing. I don't know, but like if you work at a state, a government job, or a federal job, a lot of times what they lock you in at is where you're gonna be for that position. The only way to get a raise is to move to another position that's paying more than what you're currently getting paid. And that's the business model. What it seems like the business model is.
It's always business, never personal.
And when you make a move, they don't really complain. They don't. You have some managers that don't want you to leave because you produce, but at the same time, they know that they can't pay to keep you because of how the game is played. So, happens to people in the regular world too. This kind of stuff. They want you to delay the pay, but then when it comes around to the end of the season, they're gonna try to ask them to take a hometown discount so the team can win. If Dak plays good and he's solid, you know what he get to tell Jerry Jones?
It's always business, never personal.
He can say that. But if he don't, Jerry Jones is going to tell him.
It's always business, never personal.
But at the end of the day, if Dak plays solid, he can get that money and he can say,
There can be only one.
he can be the Highlander, baby. But there's always risk involved in everything. You got to weigh out the options, make the best decision, and do what's best or put you in an advantage, because he has the advantage. They can't franchise tag him. If he can just have a solid season, maybe get to the NFC conference. I mean NFC, not NFC finals, but the NFC conference game in the playoffs, like right before the Super Bowl, that game. Man, his value will skyrocket, and I can see Jerry Jones, boy, boiling. He said, "I got to pay Dak in a minute," and he gonna be he gonna spot that heat.
Allow nothing to be in your life that you cannot walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you spot the heat around the corner.
So, moving on to the next topic. Draymond Green. Draymond Green was ejected again against the Magic a couple days ago. So the question is Draymond Green out of control? Or was the monster already created over time? Because sometimes when you're winning, they'll tolerate you because you're winning. But when you're not winning, the tolerance level is real low. You got to be on top of your game. So, how would this hurt his branding in the future deals? How will it hurt him? Or will it hurt him at all? Let me know in the comments what you think about that.
It's always business, never personal.
Because the thing you got to think about is everything you do is a part of your brand. It's like a totality kind of thing. You can't pick and choose what is part of your branding and what's not. They're going to factor all that in. The thing about negotiation and leverage is you got to know what you can leverage and you got to know what you can't. And what you can't leverage, you don't need to get involved with it or do it. You can't leverage ejections. You can't leverage fighting players in practice. You can't leverage that. You can't use that to increase your money. Sometimes they can use, but the teams can use that
It's always business, never personal.
to leverage against you when it's time to negotiate. But let me know in the comments what you think about Draymond, because I hope he can get it together. Sometimes you can get so far out there that it's hard to rein back in, but I believe in him. I think he can get it back together. I hope he do. Shout out to Draymond. Hope he can pick it back up, man. Pick up where he left off. Zion. Shout out to Zion. He has lost 25 pounds and is looking great. I think he got on the Oprah, that OPEC. I don't know what they call it, the shot. I think he on that Oprah. He got that Oprah magic, man, going on. Lost 25 pounds, and he balling on the court. He about that bulldozing dudes in the paint. And the question is, can he keep the momentum going? Because when he had that 25 or 30 extra pounds, he was in the belly of the whale. But shout out to Zion, man. Keep that momentum going, my brother. Get out the belly of the whale, man. Ball out on him, man. And shout out to him losing 25 pounds. That's not easy in New Orleans, y'all. All the food they got down there, he probably can get it free just for being on the team. And Zion. So, man, shout out to Zion for losing that weight. Shout out to him for balling out, man. It's hard to lose 25 pounds. That's not easy to do. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not easy to do, especially for a guy of his frame. So, shout out to Zion, man, for losing that weight. So, our next slide is Paul Pierce said he's more clutch than LeBron and better than LeBron on any given day.
You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I think that's Paul Pierce's truth, kind of like with Cat Williams. That's his truth. I don't know if it's 100% the truth, but that's his truth. I like Paul Pierce too, and I like LeBron, but I'm gonna have to say that because what Paul Pierce is not seeing, I watched the games when he played against the Nets. It was him and Antoine Walker versus Jason Kidd. It was Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, and Jason Richardson, I think. I think it was Jason Richardson, but man, they was running through the East those few years, those runs they had. And Paul Pierce couldn't get past them. Him and Antoine Walker, they couldn't get past him. And there was another couple of times I think he couldn't get that far until he got Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. So, but I did like Paul Pierce jumper. I thought that was a good jumper, a good solid jumper he had. But
you want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
let me know in the comments who you picking: prime Paul Pierce or prime LeBron James. Who would you take? Let you think about that. Let me know in the comments. Prime Paul Pierce or prime LeBron James. I'm going to take prime LeBron James. when you look at both of those guys, Prime Paul Pierce was good. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you, those stories. He was good, but prime LeBron James was on another level, hands down. I think Paul Pierce had the better jumper, and that's probably where it stops. Paul Pierce did have a nice jumper, but LeBron James had everything else. I mean, Paul Pierce, I think if he would have really got in that weight room, he would have probably lasted longer too. But he kind of Paul Pierce remind you of the guy that when you go play on the court, like at the park or something, this dude just come in there and just beat everybody, man. Whoever on this team probably gonna win. Cause he had that kind of body. He had kind of had that, that ballpark kind of body. The dude to come up the ballpark and beat up on everybody. You know what I'm saying? LeBron he was almost built like Mr. Olympia out there a little bit. I mean, he had the magazine kind of almost anime kind of frame. You know what I'm saying? So, and he, like I say, athleticism. He can do everything else but the jumper, but it was good enough for him to edge out Paul Pierce because he had everything else. Paul Pierce only had the J ball, so I'm gonna go with prime LeBron James. And Paul Pierce,
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
you gotta be real. So, our next slide is who got the hand in the cookie jar? Not me, that's you. NBA investigation of Jonte Porter betting irregularities. It's reported that the casino dimed him out due to suspicious betting on he was betting on himself, two-way player. Somebody bet on a two-way player. So here's the deal. He was only averaging 4 points, something like that, 2 rebounds, but he made a bet, wager. That's what they're alleging. They alleging that he bet or wagered on his what they call them bets. I think he kind of like bet on the stats or something like that, but he got in, but he didn't make the stats, so he probably bet that he wasn't gonna make it. What it sound like, allegedly, that's what it sound like. And instead of playing his minutes he usually play, he went in for a couple of minutes. Then they saying that he went out on the undisclosed injury. So let me know what you think. Do you think that the casino said it's suspicious because they lost money? Or if the casino would have won, would they would have said anything? Would they would have tipped off the NBA? It ain't looking good though. And you messed up when the casino dime you out. That definitely ain't good. So we may see Jonte Porter. He may be there. Hoping that investigation he probably hoping that investigation don't come out right. So here's the thing too, right? Inside like this, the mindset, right? Sometimes you gotta let it play out. Don't volunteer information and see what the investigation say. See how close they are. I bet you that's probably what's gonna happen. If I was a betting man, he probably gonna see, probably lawyer probably tell him, see what they come up with, see what the discovery is, see how close they are. If they accurate, he's probably gonna.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
He probably gonna plea out, or he'll probably admit to it. But if they not close or they don't have the information, he probably gonna fight it. But man, with today's technology, this is not the 80s or the 90s, man. It's too much technology out there to be playing games, man. And you got to be careful, man, because the casino, they want their money. They want their money. And if you playing with their money, they coming to get you. They not playing around. And they want it. They want their money. So keep your hand out the cookie jar. Sometimes temptation is tough. And I know it probably was tempting. Like, dude, I'm not going to play. They probably going to pull me out the game. He probably knew that. And they said he bet a large amount of money that was unusual. That's the temptation part. It's unusual to bet that much on a two-way player. So they either going to try to allege that he did it through a third party, or they're going to say he did it straight up. Either way it goes, it's going to come out what's going to happen. And I just hope he didn't ruin his career because he's a two-way player. This kind of stuff can really mess up your journey when you're not a solidified player in the league. Like, you're a two-way player, they can let him go right now if they haven't already did until the investigation play out. And even if you're found innocent, they can still look at you with a suspicious eye because, like, you know, you dodged a bullet, but are you going to do this again?
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
So, guys, with that being said, make sure you check out the Thinking Game podcast. We do it every Thursday around 6:30, with a start time 7. Between 6 and 7, that's when we start on Thursdays. We do it live, one take. We trying to make content to give insight to the youth from my journey. I share insights from my journey about life, about the corporate space, things we see, corporate topics. We look at it from a thinking game, analyzing kind of perspective, and we want to pass that down to our youth. If you get a chance, go to YouTube, watch it, CTM TV LR. Facebook, check it out, CTM TV LR. We on Instagram, The Clips, TikTok, The Clips, X, Twitter, The Clips. Be sure to watch that on Thursdays. And thanks to all who come back and watch this, CTM Sports. I appreciate you watching that. Shout out to everybody who do that. But let me know in the comments what you think about the content so far we've been making. I think right now, let me pull up my YouTube real quick. I think that we are at almost 200 subscribers on YouTube right now. So we definitely got to give a shout out to the subscribers. 193. Let me make that bigger, matter of fact. And also, we noticed that there are a lot of people watching, but they're not subscribing. So please, let's look at the analytics real quick. We have a high number of people watching, but we don't have a high number of people subscribing. So please, let's make sure that we are subscribing. Help us grow. Help us get to 1K. Help us grow, because when we grow, we can use those funds to get a studio, and then we can have more guests. We can invite more people, and we can just scale. We can just scale up. So please support the channel. Shout out to everybody who's supporting the channel currently. And shout out to New York. I think it was Atlanta. Who else was it? Let me go to my channels real quick. Let's see. check it out real quick. Go to analytics. So we've gotten 15 subscribers. Ladies, shout out to those who subscribed. Audience. See that? 84%. 84% not subscribed. Please. Let's get that done. It says 84% not subscribed. Let's share this tab. We got to get that number up. 84% not subscribed. Please help us. Help us level up. Hit the subscribe button. 84% not subscribed. I bet you if we could just get 60%, we'll be at 1K. Help us. And let's see, what was the audience? I mean, the places where we, how do I get there? No. Let's see. It was one where I could see the audience. But please, I can't find it now. I was trying to find out where we was getting more audience from. Can't remember how to get there. But please help us get to 1K. That's our goal, is to get to 1K. Help us get there. Thanks for everybody who's subscribing. I appreciate all the support on Facebook, YouTube. I think we got 100 followers on Instagram. I think we got 100 something on TikTok. We just growing little bit by little bit, brick by brick, and eventually we'll get there. And thanks for tuning in.
Always business. Never personal.
Blake, ready to die.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Thanks for watching CTM Sports. And this is Mike, and I'm signing out.